There is a question so profound that every other question depends on it. Before asking how the universe began, before wondering whether God exists, before debating consciousness, free will, or the meaning of life, there is something even more fundamental. A fact so ordinary that we rarely notice how extraordinary it actually is. Existence itself. We spend our lives trying to understand the things that exist, while almost never asking why existence exists at all. We investigate galaxies, particles, DNA, black holes, and the origins of life, yet we quietly assume that reality was somehow destined to be here. It feels natural because it is all we have ever known. But familiarity is not an explanation. It is only the slow death of curiosity. Imagine for a moment the complete absence of everything. No matter, no energy, no space waiting to expand, no time flowing from one moment to the next, no laws of physics governing invisible forces, no mathematics describing hidden structures, no quantum fields fluctuating beneath reality, no possibilities, no observer capable of asking questions, not even darkness, because darkness still requires space in which it can exist. Not even silence, because silence assumes the possibility of sound. There would be absolutely nothing. Not an empty universe, not a lifeless universe. No universe whatsoever. The unsettling part is that this state seems far simpler than the one we inhabit. Absolute nothingness has no complexity to explain, no forces to balance, no constants to fine-tune, no galaxies to assemble, no life struggling against extinction, no consciousness burdened by memory or fear. It demands nothing because there is nothing to demand. And yet, that is not reality. Instead, there is a universe almost 14 billion years old, governed by elegant mathematical laws, filled with stars that forge the atoms in your body and planets, where chemistry somehow became biology. Biology became awareness, and awareness became capable of asking why any of this is happening. Within this same reality, unimaginable beauty and unbearable suffering emerge together. Love exists, so do grief, war, disease, betrayal, loneliness, birth, and death. The same universe that paints nebulae across the cosmos also produces collapsing civilizations, mass extinctions, and minds that lie awake wondering whether their existence has any meaning at all. Every scientific discovery, every philosophical system, every religion, and every civilization begins only after accepting one astonishing fact, without explanation. Reality exists, but why? If absolute nothingness appears simpler than existence, why isn't there nothing instead? Why do the laws of nature exist? Why is there a universe capable of producing order from chaos, beauty from violence, and conscious beings who can question their own existence? Perhaps the greatest mystery has never been how the universe works. Perhaps it is why there is a universe to work in the first place. That single question has survived every empire, every revolution, every scientific breakthrough, and every generation that believed it was finally approaching the truth. It still waits for an answer. Suppose, for a moment, that the universe was given only one chance to exist. No second attempt, no corrections, no hidden rehearsal before the opening act. Then every atom around you becomes almost impossible to ignore. Modern physics reveals a reality balanced on relationships so precise that even the smallest deviation could erase everything familiar. If gravity were slightly stronger, stars would burn too quickly, slightly weaker, and many would never ignite at all. Alter the strength of the fundamental forces, and atoms lose their stability. Change the earliest expansion of the universe, and galaxies never emerge. Without stars, there is no carbon. Without carbon, chemistry never becomes biology. Without liquid water, evolution has no stage on which to unfold. You are the consequence of a chain that could have broken countless times. Yet it didn't. Somehow, matter survived the violence of the early universe. Hydrogen gathered into stars. Stars became cosmic furnaces, forging heavier elements before dying in explosions powerful enough to scatter the ingredients of future worlds. Planets formed from that debris. Oceans appeared. Molecules began copying themselves. After billions of years of blind evolution, the universe produced creatures capable of asking why it exists. It sounds almost miraculous. Then reality reminds us of its other face. The same laws that allow a child to laugh also permit childhood leukemia. The same evolutionary process that shaped the human brain also shaped parasites that consume living hosts from within. The tectonic forces that recycle continents also bury entire cities beneath collapsing ground. Every biological system that can heal is equally capable of failing. Every mind that can experience love can also experience despair deep enough to end itself. This is not a universe designed only for beauty. It is a universe where beauty and horror emerge from the same machinery. The chemistry that composes a symphony also composes a battlefield. The brain that imagines Beethoven is the same kind of brain that planned Auschwitz. The hands that cradle a newborn today may tremble tomorrow as memory dissolves into Alzheimer's disease. Nature does not separate creation from destruction. They are woven into the same fabric, like light and shadow cast by a single flame. Perhaps that is the strangest truth of all. The universe was not merely unlikely. It became a place where ecstasy and catastrophe are inseparable, where every miracle carries the possibility of loss, and where existence itself is balanced between astonishing elegance and relentless indifference. How could a reality this fragile and this brutal exist at all? Until now, the mystery has belonged to the universe. Now it belongs to you. Everything we have explored so far raises an even stranger question. Matter exists. Stars exist. Planets exist. Life exists. None of these facts, however astonishing, compares to what happened next. At some point in cosmic history, the universe stopped being a collection of particles and became something capable of having an experience. Some arrangement of atoms began to feel. Not to move, not to react, to feel. Pain is not merely electrical activity. Joy is not a chemical formula. Fear is more than neurons exchanging signals. Science can describe the biological processes that accompany every emotion, identify the regions of the brain involved, and measure the flow of information with extraordinary precision. Yet one question remains untouched. Why does any of it feel like something from the inside? This is the mystery philosophers call consciousness, and despite centuries of thought, no one knows why it exists. Consider what that means. The iron in your blood was forged inside ancient stars. The carbon in your cells was assembled through ordinary chemistry. Every atom in your brain follows the same physical laws as every atom drifting through interstellar space. Nothing about an individual particle suggests that, when enough of them are organized together, they should begin remembering childhood, grieving a parent, fearing tomorrow, or falling in love. Somehow, they do. Even more unsettling is what consciousness brings with it. A deer runs from danger. A human being can suffer from dangers that exist only in imagination. We replay conversations that ended years ago. We mourn futures that never happened. We fear losses that have not arrived. Memory allows us to revisit pain indefinitely, while imagination grants tomorrow the power to wound us before it exists. Then comes the realization from which no conscious mind can escape. One day, this experience will end. Every person eventually discovers that death is not simply something that happens to others. It is a certainty written into every heartbeat. The clock begins ticking long before we are old enough to hear it. No other burden has shaped human history more profoundly. It built religions that promised eternity. It inspired philosophers to search for meaning beyond mortality. It filled libraries with poetry, painted cathedrals, launched scientific revolutions, and drove countless people to leave behind something that might outlive them. Civilization itself bears the fingerprints of creatures trying to negotiate with impermanence. Perhaps consciousness is the universe awakening to itself. Or perhaps it is evolution's most exquisite illusion, granting us enough awareness to understand reality, while ensuring we can never be at peace with it. Either way, the deepest mystery is no longer somewhere beyond the stars. It is the voice inside your mind reading these words, wondering why it exists at all. Humanity has never lacked explanations. It has only lacked one that can stand without leaning on another. The Big Bang tells us that the observable universe evolved from an unimaginably hot and dense state. It is one of the greatest achievements in scientific history, supported by evidence written across the cosmos itself. Yet even if every detail were understood with perfect precision, one question would remain untouched. Why was there a beginning at all? Others suggest the answer lies beyond our universe. Perhaps ours is only one bubble in an endless multiverse, where every possible set of physical laws eventually exists somewhere. It is a breathtaking idea. Even so, the question simply changes its address. Why does the multiverse exist? Quantum physics offers another possibility. Particles can emerge from what is often called a quantum vacuum. However, despite its name, a quantum vacuum is not nothing. It possesses structure, laws, energy, and mathematical properties. Calling it nothing is like calling an unwritten library empty, while ignoring the shelves that already exist. Philosophers have proposed a necessary being, something that cannot fail to exist, and upon which everything else depends. Religious traditions identify that foundation as God. Others imagine reality as an advanced simulation created by a higher intelligence. Each idea reaches farther than the last. None reaches the end. Every explanation eventually encounters the same invisible wall. If something explains our existence, what explains that? If another answer appears, what explains the new answer? The search resembles climbing a mountain only to discover another horizon waiting beyond the summit. Perhaps this is why the oldest question has survived every century. Not because humanity failed to think deeply enough, because every genuine answer expands the mystery instead of shrinking it. At some point, we begin to suspect that the greatest obstacle is not missing information. It is the possibility that reality itself may not be the kind of thing that can be explained from within reality. If that is true, then the deepest mystery was never hidden among distant galaxies. It was hidden inside the question itself. There is something peculiar about the human mind. It is not satisfied with existing. It wants to know why it exists. No other question has followed us more faithfully. It appears in every civilization, every language, every era. It survives the rise and fall of empires, outlives revolutions, and crosses every border ever drawn on a map. Whether someone kneels in prayer, studies the stars through a telescope, writes philosophy, composes music, or stares at the ceiling unable to sleep, the impulse is the same. We are searching for meaning. The remarkable part is that meaning cannot be touched, weighed, or photographed. It has no mass, no color, no location in space. Yet entire lives have been devoted to finding it. People have crossed oceans, climbed mountains, endured persecution, sacrificed comfort, and even accepted death for something they believed gave existence a purpose. Why? Because facts alone are not enough for a conscious mind. Knowing how the heart pumps blood does not explain why losing someone can make your own chest feel unbearably heavy. Understanding how neurons store memories does not explain why a single song can return you to a moment that no longer exists. Science can reveal the mechanics of life with astonishing precision, Yet mechanics and meaning belong to different dimensions of the human experience. Perhaps this is why we tell stories. A story does something that raw information never can. It takes isolated moments and binds them into a single thread. It transforms random events into a journey. In many ways, meaning is the story we tell ourselves about suffering, love, failure, hope, and death. Without that story, experience becomes a collection of disconnected fragments. This may explain why every culture has created myths, religions, philosophies, poems, paintings, and monuments. Why parents dream of children who will carry something of them into a future they will never see. Why artists spend years pursuing beauty that cannot feed them. Why people leave letters, plant trees whose shade they will never enjoy, or whisper promises they know time will eventually erase. Meaning is not a luxury. For many, it is the difference between enduring life and surrendering to it. Yet the deepest uncertainty remains untouched. Do we seek meaning because reality contains it, waiting to be discovered like a hidden continent beneath the fog? Or do we create it for the same reason sailors once invented constellations, drawing imaginary lines between distant stars so the vastness above would become something they could navigate? Perhaps the answer has shaped every decision humanity has ever made. Or perhaps the search itself is the only meaning we will ever find. And if that possibility feels unsettling, it may be because the human heart fears emptiness far more than it fears uncertainty. Perhaps one day humanity will uncover the deepest laws of nature. Perhaps we will finally unite quantum mechanics with gravity. Perhaps we will discover that we are not alone in the cosmos. Perhaps our descendants will cross the gulf between stars as easily as we cross oceans today. They may build civilizations that outlive mountains, preserve memories for millions of years, and witness the slow transformation of galaxies that we can barely observe. Even then, something remarkable will remain. The oldest question will still be waiting. Knowledge has always expanded our horizon, never erased it. Every generation believed it stood closer to the final answer than the last. Every generation also discovered that understanding one layer of reality only revealed another beneath it, like opening a door and finding an endless corridor instead of a destination. That is the strange architecture of truth. Each answer becomes the foundation of another question. If we discover the ultimate law of physics, why does that law exist? If consciousness is completely explained, why should a universe contain consciousness in the first place? If time emerges from something deeper, what gives rise to that deeper reality? If existence depends on an eternal foundation, why does that foundation exist rather than not exist? The mystery does not disappear, it changes shape. Perhaps this is why the greatest questions have never belonged exclusively to science, philosophy, or religion. They belong to every conscious mind that has ever looked beyond survival and wondered why reality exists instead of remaining forever absent. Why is there beauty? Why does music move us to tears? Why does suffering exist with such astonishing persistence? Why can love become grief without ceasing to be love? Why does every joy carry the certainty that it cannot last? Why is there consciousness instead of perfect unconsciousness? Why does time move in only one direction? Why do mathematical laws describe nature with such extraordinary precision? Why do good and evil emerge from the same species? Why does hope survive in a world that so often rewards despair? Why do we fear death even though every living thing shares the same destination? None of these questions can be separated from the first one. They are branches growing from the same invisible root. Perhaps that is the final realization. The greatest mystery is not hidden at the edge of the observable universe, inside a black hole, or beneath the smallest particles ever detected. It is hidden within the existence of reality itself. Long after our cities have become dust, after every language spoken today has vanished, after the last monument has collapsed, and even the stars surrounding our descendants have changed. This question may still endure, not because humanity failed to answer it, because it may be the only question that every possible answer must first pass through. Why is reality here at all, instead of nothing forever? If this video made you see reality a little differently, you've already given this channel something invaluable: your time. Simply watching, subscribing, and sharing these videos helps more than you might think. If you'd like to go further, consider becoming a member. You'll unlock 100+ exclusive videos exploring philosophy, psychology, existence, and ideas too deep for the main channel. And if this conversation truly meant something to you, a super thanks is one of the most direct ways to help keep this work alive. Every view matters. Every share matters. Every bit of support helps us keep asking the questions that refuse to disappear.